today our topic is all about shadow work, what to do when you're stuck, you're on the personal growth, self-awareness journey, and what do you do when you're having those days where you don't know how to move the needle forward, or you don't know what to do for yourself and you're looking for guidance and insight.
Yes.
And we actually have a tool that we have co-created to help with that. And it's our own Oracle deck, our human design Oracle deck. Aloha and welcome to the Human Design in Real Life podcast. I am your host, Wynd, with our co-host today, Karen Kartika. This is the first edition. We have new editions coming, but this is pretty much what it looks like. And then we have within the deck many cards that all represent the archetypes of the essence of the gates. And I've always wanted to come up with pictures because I always am how my mind and energy works is if a picture says 1,000 words, then the essence or the energy, like there is something to the art and capturing like a visual representation of what this means. Yeah. And and then also me having an art background, I like
definitely on this process. Yes. I don't have any art background, so I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I can't even draw a stick figure. Okay. I probably can, but it'll be like, yeah, that's just between me and the paper, and nobody needs to know the picture ever.
Well, it's interesting because now we do have a lot of options for those that feel that you're not artistically inclined. And I'm definitely not an illustrator, but I can trace and do charcoal. Like if I was to pick a medium, charcoal, black and white shading has always been something that it's because it's a little bit more abstract. Like you can make mistakes. It doesn't have to be perfect, which I think is healthy.
You're telling to a person with 3 planets in Virgo, I can't make a mistake. You know how like I do my thing of art is I collect a lot of stickers. And when I'm actually placing those stickers in my planner, cannot have a mistake because this is what I do. Like I have to like look at the page. And then even though I'll be like free flowing with the stickers, but if the sticker is like some degrees like not in the right place, I could have ripped the whole page like start new. Paints or charcoal where there's no there's room for imperfection, that probably will drive me crazy. I'm probably gonna have a lot of, I don't know if you can even erase them. If you can, there's probably like a lot of erasing blotch everywhere.
There is, and then smudges, and then sometimes your hands get, it can be it can be messy. But then what's weird about charcoal is that the mistakes look good.
Really?
Yeah. When you do figure drawings and like the lady and the person, and then somehow, well, to me personally, I think it looks good. I should probably have someone pull out all my old
to see those.
My drawings from college. So, but anyways,
I wish I can train myself to be okay with mistakes.
Yeah, I know. Well,
I need to find out if that's actually falling under one of the gate shadow.
That's 18 shadow, perfection, even 58 a little bit. There's a little bit of perfection in there. So while we've kind of talked a little bit about how imperfection perfectionism is a shadow characteristic, a shadow character, one of the things that I have really appreciated about the archetypes of the gates that Richard Rudd of the Gene Keys has illustrated really beautifully. And then also with the me knowing the themes of consciousness and understanding like the limited and contracted states versus the expanded, more light activated energies or consciousness energy, since everything is consciousness, and how what's happening inside of you is also reflecting then in the external world. Like everyone thinks that, oh, you have to just change your environment. Like, well, what's going on inside of you is reflects, you attract that into your experience and into your reality. So it is, I do find that it's really important to do that inner shifting inside of yourself, or have a different perspective, or have a different mindset, or change the way that you perceive what's happening on inside your inner world, because that mindset shift or that clarity will then transform your perspective, and then you'll have a different experience.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And I'm glad I'm glad that you brought it up, because I think we're gonna free flow today podcast a little bit to show you how you can change your inner state using the tools that we created here, and start to see how this is not only to give you an awareness of your own internal state, because like it or not, when you're feeling like you're in chaos, you're like, your mind is all over the place, right? So this will help you at least ground to open up to one energy that you can reflect on first. Whether or not that's true to like what's really going on, but it's pretty sure it's true, because the energy, and this is one thing that, you know, I believe that you're already here, you're familiar with the energy, and you're familiar that there's always the interconnectedness of thing. So whatever you pull in that moment is exactly what you need to hear or learn from. Right.
Yeah.
And then from there, we're going to start to show us, okay, all right, what's going on here. And we're going to also read, hopefully it's part of the chapter that we already have in the book. And and then we're going to like explore, like using the prompts that shows in there, the description, and how that can open up to whatever it is that we're, you know, that you probably need to take actions on, what you need to decide, what you might actually have to ask yourself even deeper to open up where that consciousness to go. Maybe you're going to have a breakthrough, have an aha moments like, okay, yeah, this is exactly what I'm experiencing. This is what I have to take action on, what I have to change. So hopefully this is one episode that you can also start to see, and encourage you to stay tuned to like the next podcast that we have, so that you know the I guess a lot of people are learning human design and they all want to know who they are, which this tool is going to help you as well understand that even deeper. But another understanding of human design, even deeper than that, is like how you can bring all this understanding, all this archetype, all this languaging that you're starting to use to help you deepen the understanding of your inner world, deepen the understanding of how your inner operation is, your intuitions, relying to your own intuition, so that you can take your power back instead of just giving it away and listening to what people are telling you to do, that you start to listen to what your self, your soul wants to tell you. Because forward is that your soul blooming and being reminded your soul is so powerful, and know exactly what your purpose is in the world, what you're supposed to be doing in this time. So hopefully these tools and how we are exploring it together today and the next podcast and so on, give you that glimpse of like, oh, okay, so that's how that's being done. That encourage you to start going through your own journey and do your own self-exploration, not just to know who you are, but even in the moment when you're feeling like, oh my God, I can't get myself out of this situation. What can I do? And I think today specifically, right, when we're going to jump into this today.
Yeah, because even I have my own, I have my own stuckness. Well, and also I wanted to just mention here is that one of the biggest mistakes that I see people on and even my own self, it's a mistake that I've made too much, is that in my quest for consciousness or quest for trying to solve my problems or solve like my inner stuckness, I've sought externally outside of myself, and it is helpful. It is really helpful to hear things outside of yourself to get a different perspective and to hear what other people are saying. But then it also comes at a detriment when you're just always relying on that, and you're not taking the time to come back into yourself and shut everything out. Just literally shut everything out, turn everything off, tune everybody out. And especially with so much social media and people posting so many different things, and there's so much noise.
Yes.
That's you really have to just come sometimes. And I'm at this stage right now where I literally, I can't take in anymore. I can't take in anything else. I have to just tune everybody out and not listening to anybody, but really coming back to my own intuition, which I feel at times has gotten a little muted. And so I'm like, all right, well, this is good. Interesting that, I'm in a new place inside of myself, and it's brand new. And my own inner voice, I can't hear it as clearly. So I'm trying new things. And one of the things that I'm doing is just tuning everything else out and not listening to anything. And just, there was one other.
You off, but I'm gonna give a caveat on that one. Ooh. This by no means should replace anything that, like therapy, anything that's important for your mental health. Yes. Okay, I hope this gives you the additional tools. Okay, so the intention of us sharing this and the tools is to give you additional tools to hone into your intuition. To tune into your inner voice and your inner wisdom. However, it does not replace any therapy or anything that you need to take care of your own mental health. Yes. If that's necessary. And if you ever need an idea or way of okay, I have therapy or I have this, but nothing is working. This is to give you an additional layers of okay, how can I listen to what's the best advice? How can I tune into the next best advice or the next best next step? Because you're right. There are so many, it's a noisy world we're living in. And there's so many people calling themselves experts. And this is what I'm also, because I'm a coach and I'm experiencing myself, everybody's giving advice. Everybody's giving the 5 best things to do to get yourself out of stuckness. It's not that easy. Even as myself as a coach, I'm why are you as a coach telling people this? Because it's not true in our coaching. And this is something that you also need to understand. And if you're looking for a coach, therapist, or anybody like that, look for people who are not just giving you what you want to hear. Don't ever follow people who are just giving you advice, because the best coaches and therapists out there are the one who's going to bring something out of you from your inside, knowing your core, your true essence out of you, so that you can be fully in who you are, the freedom of being who you are. That's the best coach and healer and therapist out there. If you're just listening to them and say, oh yeah, so-and-so are telling me this, oh, this is the hacking that I'm supposed to be doing, or, no. That is we all unique. We all have our core strength. And that's what is being shown even in human design, right? You have unique characteristics. Nothing is the same. Even you're the same generators. You could be, 1,000 different kinds. So in that sense alone, so be really careful out there. When you're looking for a mentor, coach, therapist, healers, be very mindful. Again, this is why we're creating these tools, is so that you can start feeling it. Even if you're not so connected with your intuition at this moment, the card is reading your energy.
Yes.
The card is the one that gives you And this is where you need to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
If the card is really jarring you and like, oh, why do I get this card? No, 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 no. Stay with the card. And I'm like, oh, take this card. Let me put another card. Another card. I'm like, then I'm confused. Yeah. The first one is usually have some meaning. Okay.
Yep. Yes, that I've done that. Yep. You've done that. I've done that. Yeah, I'm like, I don't like this one. I'm pulling another. Yeah, no. And then I usually go back. Yes. And then it's like, all right, okay, what was that meaning? What's the resistance? People do mention resistance, and yeah, and not to say that where I'm at in my path regarding like me not taking in any external information, or I'm on my journey.
Yes.
You know, you who's listening to this right now, you're on your journey. You need to do what's best for you.
Yes.
And only you know what
Yes.
is best for you.
Yes.
And so, you know, your intuition might be telling you, I need like to go see a therapist, or I need to start taking medication. And that is a thing that I have been seeing a lot more people come out about, and even like people in the spiritual realm. And I'm like, hey, you do what works for you. Like only you know, and you are your own authority.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Don't harm yourself. Remember, this is not a place to then start thinking of like, oh, you know, going crazy in a place where you put yourself in not a safety place. Again, just a reminder, one thing is that you have to always keep yourself being in a place that is secure and safe yourself. Like whatever it is that you do, don't try to just jump bridges or what did I say? No, like, you know, metaphorically, like
right. Yeah.
You know, taking like a really huge risk. Please don't.
Yeah.
Because you know, your intuition will not just make you jump 1,000 feet, like from like where you are to just kind of like, I'm just gonna like, when you feel that, again, be very discerning who's really speaking. Again, this card hopefully will help you hone in to your own energy and give you because the progress of any journey, any spiritual journey, it's never about like what everybody's like, oh, just make the jump. Like that big jump could actually just be one step to just owning, like, I'm freaking scared because I'm supposed to be calling maybe a therapist, or maybe I need to seek for help.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to do something that I'm not comfortable with. That in itself is already a big jump. Don't ever think it has to be like, I need to move country. Well, right. Of course, that's, you know, different from like something that is beyond your reach.
Yeah.
Make sure that you really discern your step by step.
Yeah.
And of course, there's any questions where, you know, Wynd and I are here to help, to give guidance, and, you know, feel free to even give a comment down below or send us an email. Definitely would love to help and guide you in that. Yes,
definitely.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. So, so I have been feeling stuck inside of myself. Let's see here. It's been a lot of, let's see here. How do I describe this?
Well, first of all, I want to acknowledge you for being so brave to bring this into podcast today.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just going to start with the story about like, thank you. Yeah. So I'm just going to start with a story as to what happened yesterday. So every morning I pull a couple cards and I'm like, oh, okay. So what is the energy for today? And like, what is the message for today? And yesterday I ended up pulling. So I did this. It was a 2-card draw. And the first card was welcoming in. Like, what energy am I welcoming in? And I ended up receiving this. It was gate 35, the journey. It's in the throat chakra. And I love this card because you can see it. It has, it's like a curtain call. But it's a completion of a journey. In the I Ching, it means steady progress. But to me, it's representative of the part of the hero's journey where he's the hero or the heroine is about to come home to like the beginning, to the starting point, but he's been transformed anew. They've already gone on this whole experience, this whole journey. And there's aspects of themselves that is coming to a completion, but then starting and embarking a whole new territory. And I definitely see this in my life because I do feel, especially like with the planetary energies, I feel like I'm entering into this new territory, this new energy within inside of myself. I have a lot of fears of being seen show up. I have a lot of fears of being rejected, not liked, getting tomatoes thrown at me. I have in my childhood growing up, I have a lot of rejection wounds. I have a lot of I have a lot of that. So a lot of that is being raised to the surface.
Yes.
And so, and then this is another thing that I'm also noticing, and it's like what was coming up a lot is that I'm a little bit of a loner. I'm a little bit of a like whatever the masses are doing, whatever the mass consciousness are doing, it usually doesn't work for me like it does for them. And within like this new the new phrases and like I'm like I am definitely neurodivergent in that I don't have a neurotypical brain, and I don't see the world like everybody else. I never have. And I'm like, wow, that's nice that you can just I'm like, that's great. I don't have like the traditional I don't have like a buzzword or like a neurodivergent. I mean, I do have like bipolar runs on like one side of my family. And I definitely have like those, I can have like those types of characteristics. I've had a couple manic episodes, whatever. But now it's just like really more grounded. And so just seeing that from a different lens, I'm like, okay, well, I can't do what everyone else is doing. And this is just me. Like, this is just me, like trying to figure out my place and then stepping out into this new territory and this new journey and sharing my experience. The one thing that I really love making and where I feel like I'm in flow is when I'm making stuff or when I love being creative. I love like having that experience of creating something new and then making it awesome and making it really beautiful. Which I think I have put a lot of energy into this deck, and then with the book, and then like you're helping like distill and write so many different elements to the book. Like I literally, your way with words has been, and using your incarnation cross, Karen, has been so amazing. Like, I mean, I literally couldn't do it without you. Like, I would not have been able to distill the words and the languaging like you have. And so I just thank you for that.
It's good to use my gift.
Yeah. And it's because like we all have our own unique gifts and we all have our own tidbits. And so like we all have like our strengths. And I recognize that with my art degree, I think in pictures. It's I chose art in college because it was a degree that I literally didn't have to write papers. Like that was my decision. And I'm like, okay, I can get through college in 4 years.
Like this is amazing tidbits. So if everybody listening, we already know our strength.
Yeah.
But that, yet we create complexity around ourselves as we grow adult and supposedly become more mature, that we create more complexity in what we already know our strength lies. And then we're creating this other like, but I'm supposed to be, and again, right? I'm supposed to be this, but you know your strength. Even when you're young, you're already that smart to even think like, I don't want to do that. I'm just going to do this. Like, so remember like that little glimpse of moments when you're making decision out of like thin air when you're probably more innocent than you are now. I mean, good thing that we're wiser now so we can create or take better decision with our life. But the seed of who we are, we were born with it. That's never going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
And this is a great teaching moment to show you that where you in this path is about coming home.
Yeah. And your human design will not tell you this unquantifiable aspect inside of yourself. Like this is the core of your soul that is literally, it's unquantifiable. You can't have a metric system, or it's your human design won't tell you that this is basically what your human design is, and the archetypes of these gates will show you where your soul essence and this nugget of this gem inside of you is exploring with inside of yourself. It paints the pictures and these themes of where you're growing into, where your challenges lie, but it doesn't tell you who you are at your essence. Like it doesn't tell you who your essence. It's just basically, it's an operating system. It's software. And that's like the best way to describe it, because you still have to get to the core of who you are. And I think that's, what we've done for like tapping into your intuition, listening to yourself, following what you listen, like following and listening to yourself.
I think the work to get into the core, we're going to do another podcast on that one, because there's a way of like getting the essence from the gates, but it does require a little bit more of embodying and discerning, not just like when you get a gate. Was it gate 4, the scientist? And then you think that, oh, my essence is scientist. I'm supposed to be a scientist. No, I'm not a scientist, and I will never be a scientist. We're going to have a fun podcast on that one. But today, back into yesterday, you were picking up a card. It's a welcoming energy. Yeah. Notice about yourself this pattern of you being uncomfortable and stuck in how you want to be in this world, right?
Yeah. So that I noticed that. And so then I asked, what am I letting go of?
Mm-hmm.
What am I letting go of? And I received receptivity, gate 2, the feminine principle. And it's like, wow. So I'm letting go of receiving. And it's like, wait a minute. Let's look at the shadow side of this. Let's look at what I'm holding on to or keeping so rigid. What am I forcing to have happen? Like, part of my journey in the last couple of years has been studying marketing techniques in the digital age, and like how to use like, and I've listened to so many marketing people, and if you're a marketer, like that's amazing. It's awesome. It has been, to me, and I think we also talked about this in our previous episode, and we also talk about manifestation, but to keep into the juice of this, or to keep without going off onto too many tangents, manifesting for me or receiving happens in the in-between phases where I'm not really trying, or I can't try. The more I try and push to make it happen, or market, or get myself out there, or do the thing and let people know, and do all the like the fast-paced do this, do this, do this. And it literally backfires on me. It backfires. And it's frustrating because I think to myself, I'm like, well, manifestors can do it. I'm like, okay. And so, basically putting myself out there and then receiving. And it's frustrating because it's like, okay, so I'm not trying. I can't try so hard. I have to be the feminine. Karen, are you getting any insights or intuitive hits?
No, I'm just going to read the shadow part of what you've shadow part. The shadow, if you're in shadow in the gate 2 energy, is that you force your way into making things happen. You spend your resources like time, money, and energy recklessly. You think that the more you do, the better things will get, the higher the ROI. Then you dot, you worry, you feel anxious about your needs being met, and keep seeing the lack of abundance everywhere. You believe that money and love are hard to get or keep. If this is where you are right now, let's pause a moment, because shadow is always a great deconditioning portal. So the questions that you can ask: in what ways am I distancing myself from the creator source within? What can I do today to reconnect to the creator source? And how do I get back into the higher realm? And I think this resonates with what you're telling me, how when you're in the shadow, what you have to let go are, what you're, like you said, right? Trying to force it to happen. Because in moments when we're creating some things, we have to get organized. We have to make sense of all the messiness. We still need to put into action the things that we have to do. And yet at the same time, having the belief of, we're progressing no matter what. Because I was listening to something yesterday that somebody mentioned that whatever that we manifest in the world is exactly what we are calling in terms of energy. And unfortunately, we've been conditioned in our life to not calling in the energy of what we want to manifest, but the opposite. Because when we're manifesting, yes, we're like putting all the energy in, we're doing all the work, we're putting like amazing website and this and that. We're like, we'll believe in the product, blah, 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 blah. But deep inside, in the core, the energy is like, have I done enough? Am I putting myself out there enough? But what if this is not coming back? Oh my God, I still need to spend more money to make money. Like I'm already not having money. I'm desperate for money here. I mean, like, what if this is not coming back to me? I mean, you even hurt me last week, right? When I had my car broken down, it's like money is coming out, but they're not coming back. I have to like really stop myself there. I'm like, what did I say?
Yeah.
Because that energy is the one that attracts everything else.
Yep.
Not the energy of like, I know this is my purpose. I'm doing this no matter what.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
And not being connected to our own higher self. Thinking that, but money is hard right now. Nothing is coming in. Again, like that chapter David wrote, right? The lack of abundance that we're experiencing. And we're still putting ourselves thinking that we're still lacking of abundance. And that's what drawing the anxiety. Because if we can keep it simple to believe like we're already in abundance, we're just creating more abundance. Like we're not creating, we're like sharing, we're distributing this abundance and giving it to people, then we're probably going to be less anxious.
Yeah.
About things.
Yeah. And so yesterday I did the opposite. I didn't take my advice. I didn't listen to me. I pushed, I worked. I honestly, what I probably should have done is just, you know what? I'm just going to see and sit with myself quietly for a minute and get into that feminine receptive mode. And it probably would have done me some good to just sit and meditate and just sit to wait to see, or like what. And instead I ended up like, I ended up taking on that masculine energy of like, no, I have stuff to do. I have things I gotta move the needle forward. I did not listen to myself. And then those thoughts that you just said came up into my head. I had all those, like the anxiety, the worry, the doubt, and so it was literally I didn't listen to myself. But you know what? Today's a new day.
And what card are you pulling today?
Okay, well, let's find out. Because I have not pulled any cards today because I've been reeling with this fun nugget of fun story of like, all right, well, yesterday was we're gonna try again today. We're gonna try again.
Isn't that a beautiful reminder of gate 35? Sorry, just to go a little bit on gate 35, because there's a poem that was beautifully put there. Let me just read it.
Yes.
Hard work. Hard, not hard, but hard work. Each day is born with a sunrise and ends in a sunset, the same way we open our eyes to see the light and close them to hear the dark. You have no control over how your story begins or ends. But by now, you should know that all things have an ending. Every spark returns to darkness, every sound returns to silence, and every flower returns to sleep with the earth. The journey of the sun and moon is predictable, but yours is your ultimate art. And that's hard work, the real part. So to live again with an open heart is to live in a perpetual state of adventure. And adventure means that there's still some fear inside of you, but you have reached a frequency that you know is high enough to outwit that fear. Every human being has the choice to take the path of love. And that's the mystery of the 35th gift. And that's something that we also took from Richard Rudd and Gene Keys. So life is a continuous adventure of whatever begins, ends, and begins, and continuously moving forward.
I think when I sent the voice memos for the book, and so I sent Karen, I don't know, 30 minutes, sometimes an hour worth of voice memos when writing these gates. And one of the songs that reminded me of gate 35 is, this is the song that never ends. Yes, it goes on and my friend, some people started singing not quite knowing what it was, and they'll continue singing it forever just because this is the song.
Oh my God, that song drives me crazy, but that's exactly what gate 35 is.
I know, it was so beautiful. The poem is so beautiful. I had tears in my eyes, and then I'm like, okay, I gotta just say something ridiculous. Yeah, so it's like the sun sets, it's like the new day begins, and so every day it's like you have an opportunity to start a new day. So with that said, okay, everybody, so we're just what am I just shuffling the cards here? I'm shuffling the cards, everything that we got here. Okay, so, and that is also one of the card. I made a card for instructions of like different card pulls that you can pull. I'm wondering, sometimes it's just like, what's your current situation, or what's the overall, what's the message from your intuition, or what's the welcoming in, letting go of, past, present, and future. And I'm wondering,
before you pull the card,
yes,
the question first, because this is what happened. Like, I'm still thinking about the question. I'm just gonna pull it, and then you're like, the card. I'm like, I'm thinking this.
I know, right? So, what's the question? Because then asking good questions too, and I think,
what will bring you joy today?
That's a good question.
What will bring Wynd joy today?
Yeah, because when you look at the themes of consciousness, joy is up there at the top. So then if you could just find your bliss, do something blissful, then everything else, it trickles down. It has a trickle down effect. Maybe that's what trickle down theory is really all about. Okay. So what will bring me joy today?
Or hold on, before you go there, let me throw another options.
Okay.
What will bring you in connection to your higher self today?
What will bring
or connection to your higher self?
Yes. Hold on a minute. I'm gonna mark this down as a timestamp.
Okay. It's 9:34 my time.
Okay, yep. So we're probably it started at 10:47. Okay. Questions. Because I think this would be helpful for tidbits. Because I like having questiony things to repurpose. Okay. So this one, I actually have one card for joy. I already pulled it. I don't know what it is yet. Okay. And then I'm going to pull a card for what will connect me to my higher self. Oh, this one. Okay. All right. That one just jumped out at me. All right. We'll find out. Okay. So the first one, joy. What will bring me joy is mastery. Okay. Gate 48. Libra. I love God once again. So when you look at the card, it's like it's a well. So there's a well of depth and mastery. And in order to access this, you have to step into the void. Now, what is the void? Well, the void is where all potential exists. I once met a very powerful psychic that ended up getting lost in the void at some point, and she didn't know how to find her way forward. And it was so intense, it affected her physical body. She was almost like she was in a coma for a couple days. And when she told me the story, it's always, the visual always stuck in my head where she was stuck in the void and she just crouched down, she curled down, and she didn't know what to do. So she didn't know what to do next. And then her guides and her own intuition told her, you just have to put one step forward. You just have to keep stepping one foot forward and trust that, everything that you need is already within you. So this is also a card of imposter syndrome in this shadowy characteristic. It's like not trusting yourself, not trusting that what you have is already within you, because it's become so subconscious inside of yourself that you take it for granted that that's there for you.
Yeah.
So what will bring me joy is stepping into the void inside of myself, trusting that all the time and practice and energy and effort is there, ready to be drawn out by other people when they need it. And that's where the mastery comes from.
Yeah. So I'm going to a little bit from the book.
Oh, yes.
When this gate appears, it's an invitation to let go of the fear that you don't know what you need or that you lack the resources within yourself. All the time, effort, connection, relationship, and attention you put towards something is always available to you. You already have a well of master skills, talents, experiences, a network of people, and knowledge within you. And it's always there when you need it. Take a moment to reflect on this and trust that what you've been working on is already available to you. You may not always realize how much effort and energy you've put into learning and mastering something, but it's there. This card is asking you to trust yourself and know that you have invested your time, energy, and effort in accumulating within you, even if you don't always have immediate access to it mentally. It's available to you in your physical body.
Oh, yep.
Trust yourself and believe that it's there. It's this invitation to release self-doubt, recognize your worth, and value the energy that you've invested in your knowledge, wisdom, and practice to master it. Value this aspect of yourself and continue to learn and grow. And I think, wasn't this the card that you also tell the story of, or maybe I'm pulling this from a different gate. You tell me, all kind of blurs together right now. But like a piece of paper, right? And you're drawing, you can draw a flower.
Yes.
In this multidimensionality, the flower is already there. You're just retracing the flower. Is that?
That is correct. Yeah. It's the right gate. Yeah. It's in the, yes. Yeah. It's always there. Whether it's a leaf, before you draw it, it was already present on the paper. It was, and that's a mystery school teaching.
It is. And I think this is all, if you believe in manifestation, what's already in your psyche of you said, oh, I want to become this. But then you keep thinking that this is in the future, right? In that drawing that, oh, I want to draw this. But think about it, the future, if the future is already here, or like the drawing is already here, then you just have to retrace the step. You're not creating something new. You're just getting the distance between you are here right now and what you believe you're becoming, to then becoming closer and closer and closer. And finally you realize you're it.
Yep.
And that I feel the mastery of.
Yes. And it's that taking one step forward, just moving, feel your passion, what you have of value, or what I have of value, what I'm offering, and trusting. I don't listen to Bashar that often, but you're familiar with Daryl Anka and Bashar channels. I don't listen to them all that often, but every now and again, I'm just like, all right, well, what is there a nugget in there? And I only listened to this one talk, and I only probably listened to the first 5 minutes, but it was all about self-value and self-worth. And Bashar said that when you are creating from your authentic self, because this is what you feel called to do and to create, there was always someone out there waiting to receive what you have to offer.
Mm-hmm.
And that just hits that hits a string. Trusting that when you create from your authentic self, that there's someone out there. I mean, so if you're listening to this podcast and you resonate with this offering, with these teachings, then you're literally the universe operating in action. Yeah. So, and I just want to say that, if you appreciation, just appreciation, just a deep, deep appreciation for that. And I love you if you're listening to this. So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. That's a good one. So, yeah. That's a good meaning for today. Like, what will bring me joy? I'm just like, yep, just trusting myself and sitting with myself, and yeah. And so then what is the message or the card to help me connect with my higher self? So we have, gate 64, which we haven't written that one yet. But I have sent the voice memos. I have those down. I spent the time. So this one was really interesting. So how to connect with my higher self. Well, okay. So gate 64 is in the crown chakra. It is gate 6. So I Ching and the gates 63, 64. So 63 is after completion. And then 64 is before completion, or before you, or I mean, sometimes they say you come to the, wait, no, it's 64. So with this card, actually, hold on a minute. Um, so how to connect me to my higher self? It's essentially trusting and being open to receiving messages from the universe. It's a little bit of a swirl. Like you see when you look at the image, it's like the mind. It's an abstract silhouette of a face. Like you don't see any details, but it's this swirl of consciousness. It's a swirl of consciousness and being open to receiving the data, and it's opening to the inspiration that comes from the universe at large, I guess you could say. It's like it's like casting out a broad net.
I see.
Yeah.
I apparently have this game.
Yes, in your conscious Mercury.
Now I remember you, sucker. It's like, this sounds familiar. What is going on here?
Yeah. Well, and I find it really fascinating that I have in my conscious Mercury gate 63. So it's for me, it's like after I complete, I doubt. And then in human design, it's before completion, you have confusion, or in human design, it's traditionally confusion. They will associate confusion with 64 and doubt with 63. So it's almost like before you complete the task, there's always a little bit of this trepidation. There's always this like, well, how could it go? What could happen here? And
again, just looking at the image of the card of a woman with the swirly images, like energy, right?
Yeah.
And looking at the position, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is right brain, right?
Yes. Yes.
Right brain is not logical, it's creativity, abstract.
Yeah.
And I feel like because of like the images and connecting to the higher self, and higher self, it's through the crown chakra.
Yeah, it is. That's true.
Where all the creativity comes from, right? Because when you think about like the way that you create art, it's never come from logical of like putting one brick to another.
Right.
To answer the questions, and what's the name of the card? Confusion or abstract?
It's called, the name of the card is Wonder.
What? Didn't it just not answer itself out? Hello. I could have just stopped right there.
Wonder, just opening up to the wonder.
Yeah. How can you use your right brain to wonder what activity in your body? Because remember, it wants to, the joy card that you pull, it wants connections to the body. So what can you do in your body using the right brain, and remembering there's a right brain channel that you can connect to that feeling of wonderment,
right.
Wanderlust,
wonder. Yeah. And it what can I, like, what activity?
And look at her thinking with the left brain.
I know. Well, what is my intuition telling me? Well, the images that the images that I have in my head are drawing what images do I get in my head?
Did you just say, "Oh, that's silly"?
No. Well, did I?
I'm hearing it. You did probably see it, but
I mean, like, I'm like, well, is that really it? Like, is it just like, do I just doodle? Like, do I just need to get a pen and paper and make some doodlings outside, like just get outside and doodle?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Because we've lost our tactile. I mean, come on, all the design that you create, you're using.
Right. I know I do use the tablet. I know I use the computer a lot. What about the tactile? Like, do I do yeah, like why not I tap into the tactile actual drawing something with charcoal and or pencil or pen or something. Yeah. I am naturally inclined to go to my tablet. I'm like, but I have all the things I need on my tablet and my Apple Pencil. I have a whole slew of charcoal. Like maybe I should just grab some charcoal and make it some charcoal drawings. Just old school, old fashioned. And see what happens. Mm.
Mm.
Mm. Mm. I find it fascinating that we started off with art and it seems to be ending with art.
Not a coincidence.
The
Yourself
universe
is
is so
already
funny.
laying out the ground rule.
I know. The universe is a big jokester. It's comedian. It's a big comedian. Just telling jokes left and right, and be like, oh, ha, ha, you started with this. Guess what? This is where we're ending up today. Ha ha ha. Joke's on you. Looks like you gotta go get some charcoal.
And I think this is in alignment. And I'm just going to bring in the gate that we're under the influence, right? From today is the 10th of May until the 15th of May is the gate of 23.
Yes, 23.
Simplicity, complexity, and 23. There you go. How can we create our life much simpler? And I feel like it's like the biggest question that anyone has a problem to answer without making it even more complex, because we have not been living in an era that things is simpler. Everything's so complex. Even though you have gadget that you think that supposed to make your life simpler, it does require, it's actually working out of complexity. Because the more that we pressure ourselves to be in the mode of like figuring it out, I must do this, that adds into the complexity of life. And that's why even a simple word of, to connect to your higher self, just wonder. One word, a simple word of wonder. We're thinking it, we're making like, it has to be this way. This is wonder. Like, I'm supposed to be like, all those complex thoughts will come into our mind. And then when the simplest thing come, you said, really? Huh? But I have all these other tools. What are you talking about?
Yep.
Invitation, it's really, and this is one thing that when I'm studying human design, something that I really appreciate is that connection back into this physical realm that we often forget, the body itself. Yeah, and like just like a little touch, and I actually have a touch in my design, like just receiving touch. And if I'm not having other people who are willing to help me right now, I can just help myself. I can touch myself. I can feel my skin. I can do something about my body. That's my nourishment that I need for myself. And with your wonder, what's simple of being wonder? What can you use your body instead of allowing other thing outside of us to take in the things that we're supposed to be able to feel with our body? I think that's another invitation for a lot of people. If you're listening right now, how are you connecting to your body today? What brings you joy in your body, whatever that is? So yeah.
Yeah. And I'm wondering, it's interesting because sure, for my example, going back to art or doing art, I'm thinking that it might manifest differently for other people, or and I don't know exactly. I don't know. I also thought of I wonder if anybody still has magazines these days.
Oh God.
Right, because I thought of like collages and just there's
Oh
something
yes.
collage or just taking images and also they have said that when people make vision boards, they turn out better if you still do it the old fashioned way. And
Then Pinterest.
yeah.
Because we forgot the magic of the hand. And thank you for reminding me of that. When I was studying hypnotherapy, you're also familiar with auto writing,
Yes.
right? And I also do handwriting analysis because we believe that how we create with our hands is the energy that we channel. We channel or we receive, and that's why when you're auto writing, you put the energy into your hands to make it happen. So when you're actually collaging, you're making, with your vision board with your hands, like cutting and receiving the energy, looking at it, you're using your vision, your eyes, your real eyes, and then processing it and then channeling it, because this is the one that puts it together and said, yes, this is what I want. Yes, this is what I want. This is what I want. This is what I want. Like really giving that confirmation in your body. This is me. Nobody else. And that will also channel into your handwriting. And if you see yourself in your handwriting, things are becoming too like scattered. That's exactly telling you that your energy is very scattered right now. But if your handwriting is very flowing in like a good space, and like it's not going up and down and up and down, that also shows that your energy is very steady right now. So again, these hands actually are your powerful tools.
Yeah.
Never forget that. So if you start to think that, oh, I'm just going to type everything, no, the best way to learn things is writing it down. The best is writing it down.
Okay.
That's why there's, people are studying the art of journaling and auto writing, because this is powerful.
I tried. Have you ever heard of morning pages? The artist way, morning pages. So I have a tablet, I have an Apple Pencil. I'm like, oh, I have a journal. Oh, I could just write my morning pages on the tablet. I tried that and I'm like, okay, I don't think this is. I think I have to do it analog. I don't think I can do anything digitally. It literally didn't have the same effect. It was weird. It was really strange. And so I was like, all right, that didn't work. But I just need to get a silly journal and just actual piece of paper. And it's my own, like, well, I'm just gonna maybe that's like, oh, but I'm wasting trees, or I'm like, okay, all right, okay, Windstorm.
Like one out of.
I know. So I'm like, can we just have hemp paper, because that is a regenerative resource? Like,
this is why becoming is very complex, right? You're just supposed to buy a journal, not then have to figure out how the paper is supposed to be made. One that I have to purchase, it has to be made of hemp. It has to be coming from this very small batch, and that it has to be like, when are you going to buy the journal then? Like, when are you going to start changing your?
It's a conspiracy to stop. I don't know. I'm just gonna go buy a dumb journal. It's just a stupid journal from Target or something, whatever. I need to buy a dollar. I should go to the dollar store. Like, whatever. Just.
I know sometimes it's funny, like we delay our own joy, like we delay connecting our own higher self for the simplest thing.
I know. I'm like, oh, Oh yeah, and I think that goes along with like I've just been listening to what other people say I need to be doing. I'm just be like, forget it. Nope, I'm not doing that. I'm whatever. I'm just any of the resistance and these bullshit excuses. They're bullshit excuses. That's the bottom line. Being human is it's so funny. It's hilarious.
It's hilarious. We beat ourselves up, we manipulate ourselves, we self-sabotage. It's like no wonder we're never happy because we keep putting all these barriers and blocks around ourselves all the time. And the simplest thing is just I just want to be happy. And then like even that is like, but that looks so silly. No, 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 no. We have to do it this way and that way. And then it never happened. We're never happy. We're never in joy. We're never connected to our higher self. We're never connected to our intuition because we're just like, maybe it's not time yet. But it's not me.
I'm just gonna suffer in silence and just put these restrictions and limitations on me. Fine. No, that's so dumb. Windstorm, stop it. You just stop it, Windstorm.
Best part, sometimes when I'm noticing this myself, oh my God, look at me. I'm so good at my pain. I'm so good at suffering. I'm so beyond like I am so good at this. I'm the snootiest of the snootiest of being in this, like, see, I have a lot of like dilemmas. I'm so good at being this dramatic. I'm Leo too, so I love being dramatic.
Oh. Oh gosh.
And you know what? If we're so conditioned to that, it's because like just watch everything on Netflix. Anything that we enjoy has a lot of drama. Like every session, every episode, something has to just break down.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like, oh, so juicy.
Oh yes. I'm looking forward to the breakthrough. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be fun. The breakthrough is fun. We're in the gate. We're in distilling right now. We're distilling, simplifying, getting it really simple. I'm gonna simple food, simple yoga practice,
oh my
simple
God.
art. I'm not gonna put any. I'm gonna get a simple journal. I'm just gonna get simplified. It should be simple this week.
Simple. And see where this is gonna like the energy is gonna take you because we know that we still have our responsibilities, but a responsibility alone does not have the energy to fuel it.
Yeah.
The energy to fuel it is when we're feeling good.
Yeah.
I'm really supercharged and like because once you're supercharged and then responsibilities become like easy.
Yep. No, yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and because then, yeah, like that was the perfect example of what happened to me yesterday. No, you just take responsibility, do the thing, do it, and then I'm just like, well, I can't. What's wrong? And I'm like, because you just didn't take the time. I just did not take the time to sit. I just did not. Let me see here. Yeah, I didn't take the time to sit with myself. I didn't take the time to just be like, okay, well, maybe I'm just doing nothing, and that's okay. And it's being and getting rid of like the mental shame of like you're not supposed to do nothing, and yet that's a lot. That's especially when you're a creative person. That's where doing nothing is where the creativity lies. It's literally in all the creativity to do what you need to do is in the void. It's already there. So a little short story that my mom she's retired, but she still tutors kids because it's fun and she enjoys it. And one of the kids had an author come in, a writer, and she lives in Arizona. And one of the things that she said as an author, she said that when she's bored, that's where the creativity comes from. And when she's just sitting there doing nothing. And I think it's part of our conditioning, maybe part of our indoctrination, part of what we value as society is the people that do the most are seen as maybe the most valuable. And yet there is something, to the creative process. And I don't even know if there's like, we have writers, actors, artists, creatives, but I'm wondering, I don't know the percentage of like, what's the percentage of creative people? Like, is it 30%? Like creative jobs, or like creative, like I'm wondering because, there are people that need to do the job that has just like, you're just crunching numbers or you're doing finance or, you're making deals or you're doing like that kind of thing. But then there is something to the creativity. Like there's something to the creative process where doing nothing and being bored and having simple habits and being bored, that's where the creativity lies. And that requires like a bandwidth that has value. What is Einstein's favorite? One of my favorite quotes from Einstein is, wait, hold on. Oh, in order to solve a problem, you have to have a different way of thinking than what created it. So in order to solve the problem in a new way, and I use this because our society, our culture has challenges, problems, issues, and you can't solve it by doing. You have to solve it by a new way of thinking. Yeah. And I think that's what like the message for today is: step into the void. There is infinite amount of creativity. Have wonder. And sitting in the nothingness. Yeah. And that's okay. There's infinite possibilities in that nothingness. I think it's that paradox of nothingness and everythingness. Maybe that is the void. That's maybe like a good summary of what the void is. It's the paradox of both of those potentials.
I think we're going to close with just a moment of silence because we want to experience a little bit of the void, the nothingness.
And so we invite you to take a moment to share in the stillness with us too.